breaking free of all spells. This is the third video in the Break the Spell series, and we'll be going into the final phase of this, which is implementing a technique to break free of all spells. To do this, I'll have to talk about an approach that I use called the three-body approach. And I had mentioned in the last video that the neutral mind, the neutral state of mind, was a special case. I'll have to talk about that. And also the fact that the way our bodies are designed, they will self-regulate if left alone. Then we'll go into information. The goal is, at the end of this video, you'll understand how to convert all of the basic ingredients of a spell into just information and to neutralize the meaning. And this is an art called doing nothing. It's a meditative skill that you can do now. I'd like to just remind everyone that in case you haven't seen this is the first time you've seen this video, I'd like to just go over the disclaimer quickly. As I mentioned before, this is not a therapy. The video is not intended to replace any treatments. And if you're currently working with a holistic health practitioner, please do so. The most important thing is that you do your own research. And my intent here is just to provide information that has been valuable to me in my path. And I thought I'd just share it in case there was someone who might find it of value. Again, I'll just point out this is not a sales pitch. There's nothing you have to buy. I'm not selling anything. The model that I'm using is called the internal map of reality, which is more of a public domain approach to understanding the mind. The information here is free, and the model information with the model is free. However, it's a little bit hard to get detail on it, so just message me if you want more information on this model. I don't have any reference material yet, although I'm thinking there could be some in the future. Research publications will be coming out, as I mentioned in the last two videos, dealing specifically with this approach to transformative change. In the last video, I had mentioned that to find information about me, you can just review the first video or go to my Facebook page and leave information there. I'm thinking that at the end of this video, depending on the questions I get and the response, I could do like a Q&A, question and answer live chat. There is the possibility of some of the content could be done up in a series of short little videos, 5-minute, 10-minute videos on some of the specific things. In the last video, I went over a more detailed definition of a spell. And I'll just repeat it now just so that we can remind ourselves of it. My definition of a spell is that it's one or more events that you experience either in your mind from the past or in the present or something you're constructing about the future. So you have this event. And then you assign a meaning to it. And this meaning, in terms of my definition of spell, is usually something you were told. So you give it a meaning. The meaning then changes your mental state and can elicit a behavior. Now, all of this is fine and dandy, but if the spell is for someone else's benefit, the result, the outcome, is really for someone else. So hopefully you have begun to look at your mental states and behavior and begin to identify your power states. Find out the times you are doing what you want and the things that are much more resourceful for you. So again, the spell really gets your mind and body doing things for the benefit of others. Now, this, again, it can be beneficial and it can be resourceful if you're doing this for a loved one or family friend or for a job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that is not to your benefit at all. Okay, so let's just review. I gave a number of hints in the last video about how you can begin to work with positive, resourceful spells and ones that are not resourceful. So the first hint I gave you was that if you alter the ingredient of a spell in any way, you will weaken and probably break the spell. Also, if you have found your positive spells, if you go back there, if there's an image that makes you feel strong, every time you think of that image, that you recall it, you reinforce it. So you can begin to reinforce all of your positive states of mind and positive behaviors, and you can weaken them by changing the ingredients. One way you can change the ingredients that if whenever you listen to a particular music or watch a particular type of show, if that puts you in a negative state, well, what do? Don't watch those shows. Play some different music. Same thing goes with all the other ingredients. Pay attention and reuse the ones that reinforce your positive states of mind and behaviors, and alter or just stay away from the ones that don't. Very simple. Second method that I suggested was something called reconciliation. I do a meditation called a timeline meditation, where you can go back to the past and resolve unresolved issues. Now, you don't need my meditation to do this. Once you're a little bit more attentive to your mental states and behaviors, you'll begin to know whether it's something from the past or whether it's something in the present or future. The act of just knowing that it's from the past, you don't have to know the details, but if in your heart you can forgive yourself and forgive the other person, and look at that situation. You can't change it, but what you can do is you can release the emotions. So reconciliation is a process where in your timeline, past, present, and future, you begin to release all the emotions associated with any event and just leave the information. If there's information that's of value, just hang on to that. I can give you more information on that at another time, but basically what you're doing is a reconciliation. The third method that I alluded to was changing the meaning. So after you have experienced some trigger, your tendency is to give it a meaning. Well, now you know that you can switch the meaning, put your power meaning there, or change the meaning to something that's resourceful, and that will change the outcome. The fourth method that I suggested that you can use is to change the outcome. So you have a trigger, you get the meaning, and that meaning says that you're supposed to go and eat an apple pie. Well, maybe you go and drink a glass of water, or you go for a walk, or you do something different. The act of changing the outcome will break the spell, and eventually you will assign a different outcome, to that meaning. Okay? So just do something different. You have that power, and this will weaken the spell. It will also strengthen power spells. So if you have something that has a real positive outcome, repeating it strengthens it. Okay, so let's look at how we can clear all the spells in one fell sweep. Well, first of all, we have to understand that in many modalities, the body is looked at in three systems. I am certified, or I have gone and taken certifications in all three bodies. Physical body, I am a Tai Chi practitioner and have been practicing that for a long time, and I give classes in it. So Tai Chi is a physical way of working and balancing the body. The energy body is a well-recognized system. If you go into any hospital, the first thing they will do is they'll wire you up to an electrical system to monitor the electrical body. I study traditional Chinese medicine, and their yin-yang theory of qi is what I work with. And then the spirit body. And there's a number of ways of working with the spirit body. My study of the internal map of reality is one way. Another way is through meditation. I've sought different certifications in meditation. So the three bodies all need to be balanced. Your physical body, your energy body, and your spirit body. One way of doing this in one fell swoop, for those who meditate, if you sit down and go into this neutral state of mind that I referred to earlier, you will automatically free the three bodies to do what they do naturally. If left alone, your body will neutralize and will balance and regulate. That's what they do. That's why sleeping is so beneficial. So adopting a neutral state of mind helps all three bodies self-regulate. And this is really the ultimate goal of breaking away from spells. Staying in a neutral state of mind and avoiding the reactionary aspect of a spell. So in a sense, what you will begin to do, if you choose to, is take all of the basic ingredients that we have been talking about, and when you experience them, just view them as information. View them with no particular goal to put a meaning on them right away. Now, eventually you might assign a meaning to it, but avoid the immediate reaction that is embedded in whatever spell that you've been working with, whatever conditioning you've been working with. Just stay neutral and see whatever you're experiencing as information. What is it telling you? What are you finding out about it? And at first, this practice might feel awkward. And if you want, I could put a practice meditation link in the comments. There are different, little guided meditations that you can do to practice getting into this neutral state of mind. But you don't need those. You can just go and begin to just tell yourself that what you're observing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling is just information. So this is called the art of doing nothing. So when you're in the world experiencing it, let the world tell you what it is, rather than falling back to some pre-prescribed meaning. And again, this might feel strange at first. You might feel vulnerable. But it's okay. It really is okay to see the world as it is, to take off the glasses that block your vision and just open up and see the world naturally. That's it. I know it seems pretty simple, but it is simple, but it isn't. It takes practice, and that's why they call meditation a practice. You practice getting into this neutral state of mind, practice not immediately assigning meanings to things, and you will be amazed at the results. So what's next? I could do some Q&A live chat sessions if people are interested, and I could do a couple of short videos on some of the content areas that maybe weren't explained fully enough or that require additional explanation. I really appreciate you watching these videos and making the attempt to clear yourself of unresourceful spells. Good luck, stay open, and stay neutral.